I never thought I'd be writing something like this. 8 years of marriage, and I believed Emily and I were solid. Sure, we had our disagreements. Who doesn't? But nothing major, nothing that ever made me doubt her or our relationship. We had a life that, from the outside, probably looked enviable. Good jobs, a nice house, plenty of travel. We didn't have kids yet, but we'd talked about it. I thought we were in sync. I thought we wanted the same things. But all it takes is one moment, one conversation, to turn your whole world upside down. It started a month ago. Emily was acting off. She wasn't her usual chatty self. Emily is the kind of person who fills the silence in any room. She loves talking about her day, her friends, her gym routine, whatever. But for about a week, she'd been quieter, distant even. I chalked it up to stress at work. She'd been complaining about a new project recently, and I figured that was the cause. I didn't press her. Maybe I should have. Then one night, after dinner, she said, "We need to talk." Now, if you've ever been in a long-term relationship, you know that sentence is never a good sign. I felt my stomach twist as I tried to guess what was coming. Was she unhappy with something I'd done? Did she want to move? Quit her job? She sat across from me at the dining table, her fingers nervously twisting the edge of her napkin. "I've been thinking a lot about our relationship," she began. Her tone was calm, almost clinical, but her hands gave her away. She was nervous. "And I feel like I need more excitement. I think we should open up our marriage." For a moment, I thought I'd misheard her. Open up our marriage? What the hell did that even mean? I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, to say she was joking. But she didn't. She just looked at me, waiting for my response. "What?" was all I could manage. She sighed, like this was something she'd rehearsed. "I've been feeling like there's something missing. I love you, and I love our life together, but I want to explore other connections. I've been reading about open marriages, and I think it could be really good for us." I was frozen. My brain couldn't process what she was saying. When I finally found my voice, I asked, "Is this about someone specific?" Her eyes darted away, and that was all the answer I needed. After a long pause, she admitted, "There's someone I've been talking to at the gym. Nothing's happened, nothing physical. But it's made me realize how much I miss the excitement of meeting someone new. He makes me feel alive." The words hit me like a gut punch. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was my wife, the person I'd built my life with, telling me she wanted to date other people because some guy at the gym had made her feel alive. I asked her if she even understood what she was saying, what she was asking of me. She said she'd thought about it a lot and that it wasn't about replacing me. She said it was about expanding our relationship, giving us both the freedom to explore. She even said, "You might enjoy it too. You could meet someone." I told her I wasn't interested. I didn't want to date other people. I wanted her. I wanted the life we'd built together, but she wouldn't let it go. Over the next few days, she kept bringing it up, trying to convince me. She sent me articles about couples who claimed open marriages saved their relationships. She quoted podcasts about how monogamy was unnatural and how this was the modern way to love. Every time she brought it up, I felt the distance between us growing wider. One night, after yet another exhausting conversation, I asked her point blank, "If I say no, are you going to see him anyway?" She didn't answer right away. That silence told me everything I needed to know. That's when I realized our marriage was over. The trust was gone. The foundation we'd built our life on was cracked beyond repair. I told her I wanted a divorce. At first, she thought I was bluffing. She laughed bitterly and said, "You're overreacting. No one else will ever love you the way I do." When she saw I was serious, her tone shifted. She got angry, accusing me of being closed-minded and insecure. But I didn't care anymore. I was done. I packed a bag and moved out the next day. I stayed with a friend while we started the legal process. It was messy, as divorces always are, but I felt oddly at peace. For the first time in years, I was prioritizing myself. In the weeks that followed, I started to rediscover who I was before I became Emily's husband. I went hiking again, something I'd given up because Emily didn't like it. I reconnected with old friends I hadn't seen in years. I started focusing on my own mental and physical health. It was like a fog I didn't even know I'd been living in had finally lifted. Through mutual friends, I heard that Emily's gym guy ghosted her shortly after I left. Apparently, he wasn't interested in anything serious and had moved on to someone else. She'd been telling people I couldn't handle her request and was too traditional to understand her needs. Honestly, I didn't care. For the first time in years, I felt free. Free from the constant pressure to meet someone else's expectations. Free to live life on my own terms. Walking away from that marriage was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the best decision I've ever made. Sometimes the hardest choices lead to the greatest happiness, and now I'm finally living the life I deserve.